I mean, we could just casual it out. I mean, this is
Okay.
just RD2L season 15. This is the grand finals. This is PST Sunday versus EST Sunday. Kobold Taskmasters versus Naga Fan Club, and I think it'll be an exciting match.
Yeah. What are they doing about servers? If one team
Coin flip,
consistently
I believe.
coin and then they're alternating, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll coin flip, and then you get priority on either. I don't actually know, but I know that there's a coin flip for the server because the server is important because one team will be at a huge ping deficit.
Hmm.
But the interesting thing is I've seen Skater play. They're the PST team, but I think they chose to play um, on East in their
Okay.
last series, actually, in order to secure, like, they gave up server to get, like, first pick, I believe, in that
Okay.
series.
Which I mean,
So
are
they're,
these all American or North American
yeah,
players? Okay,
yeah.
so server realistically the server probably doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, it's
Um,
maybe like a 40 ping difference depending on area.
yeah, personally I don't ever notice myself, but I don't play mid or anything, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, I can imagine it being harder on a more mechanically like difficult lane or something, but
Yeah,
I just usually
absolutely.
play support or off lane, and I don't see the difference between 90 or 60 ping.
Yeah, it's definitely very close. Okay, so what can you tell me about the band so far? CK looks weird in the first phase.
Yeah, I
Pango.
actually have some facts this time.
Okay.
I came prepared. Well, right off the bat, this may not be true, but in my opinion, just going off of public information, so Dota buffs, win rates, etc., it seems the Naga fan club are the underdogs right now. They have a 57.6% win rate so far, just off their
Okay.
ticketed matches, and the Kobold Taskmasters have a nearly 85% win rate.
Ooh.
Actually, have not dropped very many games at all. However, another interesting thing, though, is the Naga Fan Club was the lowest seeded team coming out of PST Sunday, 16th seed, lowest coming into the playoffs, and they're in the grand finals. Whereas the Kobold Taskmasters were seeded too, so everyone kind of expected it.
Huh. Interesting.
It's a real
So
underdog story.
yeah, is there a lot of like competitiveness for like PST versus EST? Do you guys like consistently root for your server, or is it more like just fluid and no one really cares?
Yeah, you should see the playoffs when a team gets eliminated from one region, the other region, the spam that happens in their channel it's on another level.
Okay.
There's memes, there's emojis, there's all kinds of things just posted in spam. There's definitely a rivalry between the divisions, and I think people were a little surprised that EST Monday didn't make it this time. They've historically made it to the playoffs almost every time, and they didn't make it this time.
So how many slots are there for each time or for each day? Is there like two or something? Is there,
One, I think it's like 9 p.m. for Sunday and Monday, and I may be wrong, but I think 7 PST for the PST. I'm
okay.
not sure though, because I'm not super familiar with PST.
Gotcha.
But you might be a little confused about some of these picks and bans right now.
You know, I can see it a lot, right? Like Beastmaster's amazing right now.
Hmm.
Does stuff good in lane. The pigs are annoying to play against, and then you get to late game, and all of a sudden everybody just does shitloads of damage because they attack fast. Totally makes sense. Lich, I understand the appeal. He's definitely a hero I go to in solo queue just because you pick him early. It doesn't matter. You know you're going to be able to win your lane probably. Your Chain Frost is fire and forget. You can't fuck that up. And
Yep,
then if I look on the
absolutely.
other side, I'm looking at Venge. And I'm like Venge, not as noob friendly as Lich because you have to time your swaps right, but put like some mid tier player on there, I could see Venge working out really well, and it covers similar things what Beastmaster does, and it also prevents Kobold from going Beastmaster Venge, which may have been something that they had in mind. I don't know if that's played or not, but that was like an older combo that was good. And OD's been popular too. I think these four picks are not that abnormal. The only one that's slightly surprising to me is maybe Venge.
That is actually more than likely a position one vengeful spirit
Okay. Oh, I've been
because
hearing about that with like Vlad's and stuff, right?
yeah, well, Vipe, their position one player, that CK ban is for him.
Okay.
That is one of his best heroes. They didn't want him to get it. I know that there was some sort of discussion he was going on about, do I ban the Venge? Do I ban this? The CK? Like, you got to let something through that they're going to be comfortable with.
Hmm.
So they just picked. If I'm going just based off their Dota buff and what I've seen out of them historically, this is their 1 and 2 picked in the first phase. That is Skater's OD. He likes that hero, and
Hmm.
that is going to be Vipe's Vengeful Spirit.
Kind of interesting to open OD first phase
Yeah,
slightly. I feel like
I think they really want it. Big
it's
comfort hero.
one of those things that could just be outplayed. I'm guessing. I'm sure there's a matchup that he doesn't do great in, but I haven't been watching that much Dota lately, so I'm a
Yeah,
little unsure.
there's also two different styles of drafting I think going on here. Just
Okay.
I know Bubba, and he is very passionate about Dota. He does his research on teams. He comes up with a million different drafts that he could do. He has like the heroes that he knows are going to do well, just based on his players and what he knows about them. Whereas every match I've casted that has Skater's team in it,
Hmm.
I I have no clue what the hell they're drafting. They do
Okay.
some they have 100% win rate with Pudge. I think 3 or 4 games. They've picked like the Bounty Hunter as like a fourth pick one time to like really round out this interesting like first pick Disruptor, third pick Night Stalker draft that they had. It was like a full total
A
like
run at you draft,
yeah,
basically.
out vision, like crushed the other team. It was insane. So two very different, I think, school of thoughts going on here, where the Naga fan club can just throw these wacky drafts that they've practiced at you and kind of like
Hmm.
surprise you.
I mean,
And
maybe
Bubba's
that's why
like,
they're here, right? Despite
yeah,
getting 16th seed, they've managed to make it all the way to the top of playoffs, and we'll see. I mean, it would be a pretty funny story if the 16th seed wins the finals,
be
right?
the second seed, yeah.
I feel
And
like
yeah,
Cobalt
and then
Taskmaster's 17th best NA or
that is true.
West PST team or something.
Oh, I have actually not seen this. I have some cheat sheets I wrote up about all their historically most played, most banned
Well,
heroes,
if
and I
if I
don't
had to
see it.
guess, this is a Bubba plan here. I mean,
Yeah.
if they know OD is a hero that's likely to be picked, I'm sure it's something that was in mind just to mana drain OD, burn his mana. Plus, with Arcane Orb doing AoE, you can probably proc spike Carapace a little bit easier. Maybe set up some combos, gank him, keep him down. Ogre Magi is the support though. I think Ogre's not very good right now, if I'm not mistaken.
This is, I believe, Panda's hero. They did pretty good with it. He does a pretty good job of bullying the lane, but yeah, I don't think the hero itself is that great. But again, the RD2L meta and their picks don't always really go with what's in, flavor of the month, what's actually the best hero. Like you were saying before, it's a lot of comfort picking and like a draft style you develop.
Yeah, I guess at least Bloodlust does give a lot for OD, like a shitload for OD, and it's not bad for Avenge either. And it's also one of those heroes where if you aren't the most skilled player, it's not terrible, I guess. If you're buying wards, get a GPM talent and Bloodlust. But you can't Bloodlust spam as much as you used to. It's actually really rough. That was one thing I noticed recently playing, because your cooldown doesn't go down with multicast anymore, or at least I don't think.
Oh,
It used
I
to be
wasn't
like
aware.
5 seconds at late game, right? So you could cast it all the time, but it's like a 15-second cooldown now or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Bloodlust. Let
So
me see.
you can't just like
14. Yeah, you're right.
you can't
14
just put
second
it on
cooldown.
everybody anymore. So it's not as much of like you can't be as much of a bloodlust bot. But either way, I'm sure Ogre's win rate drop has also just been because people bought Midas too often, or they'd rush Midas and they realize like, oh shit, my hero's not good late game anyway, so Midas is
Yeah,
stupid, you know.
I have all this gold for nothing.
I think it could be like a good like mid game purchase sometimes. If you get like arcane boots and you're like buying a lot of
You're already
wards, and
kind
then
of
you're like,
rolling.
all right, I'm gonna buy a Midas. You just buy a Midas mid game when you like once your multicast is at like 2 points or something, then all of a sudden you can get your gold back real fast, right? But if you have like 1 point of bloodlust and you use your first Midas and it doesn't multicast, it feels so bad. You're like, why did I buy this now? I could have bought this like later when it has like a much higher chance of just getting like a triple proc or something and making back like a fourth of my Midas money instantly. I think that's maybe the value on Ogre, but the rush is definitely garbage.
Yep, I agree with you. I do not like the. I actually had a game. It was, I think, one of the playoffs we won, and I was playing Grimstroke, and my other support was playing Ogre. I see him purchase the gloves of haste. I'm like, Lord, please no, don't do this. I'm supposed to be the 4 here, man. And then, sure enough, 10 minutes later, there's a Midas. He's double Midas in camps, and I was forced from my 4 roll to a 6 hard position Grimstroke.
Yeah, that's
I mean, we won, but it's rough. What do you think about the Terrorblade pick? I was just looking at these stats, and it seems this hero's been banned against them 5 times with a 20% loss percentage.
it's a good. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, this is okay. So this has to be 32W's hero because he's the guy that's on the Pudge, the Bounty Hunters. I've seen talks of Techies. I think I even read in their Discord that they had scrimmed with a support Timbersaw at some point.
That ain't good.
Yeah, this team is
Well,
really hard to draft against. I think if Bubba's gonna like maybe lose at the drafting stage to anyone, it would be Skater's team just because it's just such an enigma.
Yeah, and I could see, especially when your skill level is all over the place,
Hmm.
things like Techies is harder to deal with because it's like it's one of those heroes where everybody has to like have their basics of, oh, how do I deal with red Techies mines? Okay, it beeps, you walk away, then you come back, kill it, no problem. Once you just clear everything efficiently, the game isn't hard. But once you start making mistakes, walking high ground, up, going for without sentries, just a couple of mistakes here and there, and Techies is an absolute beast. Obviously, I do
I like
like him against TB though. I guess it's a lot
I
of lane
like the
pressure.
people that get hit by the stasis trap,
Hmm.
and then they think that they can't auto attack the mine.
So you can auto attack the mine while hit by stasis trap, correct?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it
But
only holds you in place, but if you're a ranged hero, you should be able to just hit it.
you have to be pretty far ranged, if I
Some people
remember.
just stand there and just die.
I could
I
definitely
mean, I
see
would
that.
accept my fate.
It's tough because usually the range is pretty long. I've like the mine and stasis trap combo is definitely the one of the more annoying things to deal with. Because unless you're like a really long range hero, which they have, I guess Lich,
Not
but
Lich,
and
yeah.
maybe TBU. I almost said Lich ult, but same thing. They can deal with them, but it's not going to be super easy. I do like TB against OD and Venge though, especially because reflection against Venge is going to be amazing if he has
You get the
auras.
aura, right?
Yep,
During the time, yeah.
yep,
So
exactly. So they'll steal any Vlads, they'll steal Vengeance Aura. That'll be pretty good. So
especially if you get it for that short time, you get it with the Beastmaster. Plus, you have
yeah,
the inner, what is it? Inner Vitality. What is that spell called?
Inner Beast.
Inner Beast. Yeah.
Inner
That's the
Vitality
other
does
one's
not exist
Huskars, right?
anymore.
Yeah, that was the Huskar ability, right?
Yes, it's gone forever, unfortunately. A lot of dead
But
heroes.
I kind of like the Techies. I feel like it just throws a wrench into everything because I know
Yeah,
just Bubba's got a very straightforward. You pick heroes, you pick counters, you win the game off the draft, and like patient play. And
oh,
Techies just throws all of that out the window.
I got an idea. What do you think about? All right, it's not going to be viable, but what about Drow Ranger? So I played with Slacks the other day. We did this Drow draft, and Slacks played Techies. And once he gets to 25, he gets the damage talent, and you have a Drow on your team. It's actually good damage because it's not
And then
just
you
like
have
a
to reach
Techies.
25 on a tech in a Techies.
It's not uncommon at all, dude. If your Techies knows what to do, they always delay the game by like getting crucial core kills or getting double kills, and like it's super easy to hit 25. And he has experience talent. But what I'm saying is like it's a way to actually transition your Techies into something serious.
Holy crap, you're right. 30% XP gain at level 10.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played this hero, so
Okay. And
all
then
I know is I
Drow
see him and I hate my life.
gives you like 80 attack speed late game. So it's actually viable. Like you Slacks actually transitioned into like a Daedalus and like a Monkey King bar or something. It was pretty good. And you attack for like 800 range. So it's not bad. Okay, so they grab a Zeus as their probable mid hero as a partial Techie solution.
I like it. It's
It's
pretty good against OD, isn't it? Also,
lane wise, I am not 100%. Not sure.
I'm
You're not
pretty
gonna be able to
fairly
contest with right clicks, but you're gonna have
Yeah,
to
no.
cast spells.
Maybe not the new OD. I haven't played mid in so long, but I remember that I used to be pretty okay playing Zeus into OD.
Hmm.
I check that.
Well, one good thing for Cobalt Taskmasters is they don't really have to worry about any roaming from Naga Fan Club unless it's going to be like techies jumping in. It doesn't feel like it's that dangerous. And in terms of Naga Fan Club, they have pick-off potential with Legion Commander later on, but outside of that, not very much. So I just feel like Cobalt Taskmasters has, first of all, incredible vision advantage between Nyx Assassin, Beastmaster, and Zeus. That's going to be huge, actually. I think that's maybe one of the more broken things on Beastmasters. The Hawks right now are just
Yeah,
disgustingly good.
I just looked it up. 56% win rate in favor of Zeus against OD. I do
Okay,
remember that. I just remember the matchup being just easy for some reason. Like it
it's
doesn't seem hard. You just kind
it's
of harass him.
yeah, it's probably just once you get like level 5 or level 4 even, you just lower his HP and he's gonna have to buy like salves, or he could just get tranquils though. Probably. I know tranquils is a sometimes thing on OD already. I think this game it might be really worth because
Yeah,
he's
it's
not gonna
also
be
I
able to
feel like
break
a
it.
hero that you just aren't scared of him walking up and astraling you because you have pretty good range where you can just farm with your spells.
Yeah, I totally forgot to adjust my broadcasting things.
Uh,
Make
I just
everything
put mine on to make sure I didn't
nice
forget.
and smooth.
But yeah, there's some of these players, just from what I've seen, Skater has this really interesting playstyle for mid, and at least in the matches that I've casted with him, where he seems to prioritize like outright winning the lane, like not as much. I've seen him just kind of prioritize getting good runes and then making a quick rotation to like the side lanes. Like if he gets a DD or a haste,
I
you
like that.
almost always see him like secure a side lane kill. because I feel like he is, I think, immortal now, and he helps like his maybe weaker lanes or like a lane that's not going as well as it should, and he helps them win. And it's just a play style that I've noticed that he plays that a lot of people don't do. They'll stay there and push the tower, but he's like, you might chip my tower, but I'm gonna get 2 kills out of it and like top or something with this
Yeah.
haste.
I think that's a really good idea because when you have weaker players in the game and you need to basically stabilize their lanes, just a little bit of ganking here or there, getting like 1 or 2 kills is going to make everything easier for them. A lot of it's sometimes confidence. Did you see what Techies just did?
I did not.
He's got
I
this
missed
like
it.
crazy item build where he came to lane with 4 salves and 2 mangoes. So he just landed a 2-man blast off just to harass his opponents basically. They burned a
I
little
was
regen.
noticing the TV was missing a good chunk of his health. I didn't know if he walked into a mine or what.
Yeah, just got the double blast off. Looks like it maybe didn't matter too much. Maybe Lich salved, I'm not sure. They'll trade bounties down there. So, was it 2 and 2? Okay, 2 and 2. A lot of action.
Coming out of the draft, who do you think has the high, like, just if you were just going off the draft, no anything else? Who
I
has
think the
superior
Radiant
draft?
team, it looks better to me in the sense that they have more gank opportunities. Their team fight's still really good. Their vision control is ridiculous, and I don't have as much faith in a Vengeful Spirit as being able to impact the game in a strong way. Because
I've
like
seen Vipe do very well though on this hero. This is a huge comfort pick for him in this league. It matters a lot. So
I just mean that it's hard to gank with Venge unless you go
Yeah.
like Shadowblade or something. You don't have AoE, so you can't farm super fast. There's a lot of issues like that as well. So that's one of the negatives on Venge as a hero, in my opinion, that makes her a little bit harder to be viable. It's just not as flexible, I guess, as other heroes sometimes.
another thing, I love Beastmaster as a hero, but just from the games I've seen, we see Filski more on like Axe, Centaur, Brew. What was another one? The Sven, the offlane Sven was a big one. He plays these like kind of shorter cooldown initiation heroes. I don't think he did as well on the Tide. So like these longer cooldowns, like Roar, what is that? Like 90 seconds level 1, where I think he's just done better on heroes that like Sven just jump in and Stormhammer or just Blink Call, like super short cooldown, big playmakers. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he actually does on this hero.
It could be interesting.
I've seen him struggle sometimes when he doesn't get those types of heroes.
Techies here blast offing for like anything, any reason ever. Yeah,
This is a high harass lane.
he tried to go for a range creep, but it ended up getting denied still by the Terrorblades, so not quite working out perfectly. A little interesting Lich went Frostblast as well. Usually when I do this, everybody yells at me.
The Frostblast level 1?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot worse, but I feel like they could have potentially gotten like a Techies kill with that, but maybe TB's a little too low on damage or something. They do basically equal damage, Frost Blast and Frost Shield, but the Frost Shield's obviously area of effect, so kind of pays off a little harder, usually.
Yeah, and this is their cat. They have a 100% win rate with Lich. Oh, well. Oh, he almost
Let's see
actually
that
managed to get the kill on the TV there.
Very close.
What I was going to mention is Bubba, their captain, has a very low amount of deaths historically across like all his games. Like I saw somebody saying that he's the player that would sacrifice Nier to keep his KDA score high for the season,
Yeah.
and I kind of believe it. Like he definitely. I think it's just good positioning. He's one of those supports that just watches where he is in team fights, so he's rarely like that free pick, that you'll sometimes get out of supports that aren't used to playing support, or they just aren't that good at playing it.
Yeah, what's his MMR on the team? Like, is he one of the higher players, or?
No, he's about mid. I think he was, geez, I can't remember the last time I checked his profile. He's like Ancient 4, maybe,
Okay.
or around there.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
don't
just
think I can check because we're in a lobby with
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
so it blocks it.
figured, depending on if he's one of the higher MMRs, that would explain his lower death numbers for sure.
I think he just practices it, and he likes supporting. You see him play, I think, Oracle a lot too, which is not something that's too common, at least not in my pubs. And he played it pretty well several times in RD2L games.
Yeah, Oracle's actually pretty good, I think, right now.
Yeah, I like the hero. I like
Definitely
his Q stops TPs now, right?
I actually can't remember.
It's a roots disable TPs.
I can't remember.
Fortune's End? I believe it
cannot
does.
I think I'm not sure why he's necessarily much better, but he does do a lot of damage, I guess.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
it's just because his
super ass is crazy.
yeah, it's just probably just because his first skill does so much damage at level 1 or something.
You think this Techies has gotten enough out of the lane so far with these suicides? Because I haven't really seen Nier struggling. He's doing okay in terms of CS.
It definitely hasn't been great. Part of the problem, I think, is that pairing it with the Legion is a little iffy.
He could die here, actually. Oh, Nier didn't stay for the last right click there. He could have had... It's too late now. That's unfortunate. I think he thought that would do more damage than it actually did. So he just immediately, like, knee-jerk backed up.
So, which is kind of funny, because one of the best things about Terrorblade is super high base armor. But little does he know, Techies also has stupidly high base armor. That's why he stayed alive. But I feel like Legion can't really harass the Terrorblade to get low, is part of the problem here. I don't know if you've ever done like a Zeus Techies dual lane against Terrorblade, but that stuff works really good, because then you're just dealing tons of magic damage to lower his health. And then the blast off comes, but outside of like spamming overwhelming odds, and it is very good against TB, outside of that, it's just a little bit hard to get him low enough where the blast off gets the kill. And with the fast range drop purchase that TB picked up as well, it's going to be hard to burst him down.
Oh.
Caught it. The hero's still on the board.
I missed it. I totally missed it. I wasn't even watching top lane.
I didn't get it.
Oh.
It's okay though.
I'm just watching this Techies lane, and it's making me angry for
Look,
him.
he got a first blood, but he's a dumbass because he's got a Wraith Band in his backpack, so...
Oh,
the Vibe didn't actually accomplish anything, more or less. We'll just pretend that kill didn't happen. He doesn't deserve the gold. Alright, he figured it out. He's good now. No longer stupid.
In the shop?
He hasn't figured out boots yet, but eventually he will get there. Although maybe he's just worried about denying, which is actually kind of important right now. This Beastmaster has huge base damage, so now he'll be able to deny and last it a lot better.
Did he go for the QB? Yeah, he did. Actually, he's already rotated into the jungle on the Terrorblade.
Huh.
He didn't even get level 4. He's just level 3 and just decided I'm done with this shit.
I kind of don't blame him. I mean, giving Lich solo experience is not a terrible thing. And the same principle still applies. Like, the Dire team still can't kill that well. So maybe it'll be fine. On the mid lane, Zeus is at 18 and 5 versus a 30 and 15 of OD. So OD is definitely crushing this lane. Don't know if it's just an MMR difference, perhaps, but OD definitely seems to be doing well. Probably just that Zeus pretty much can't contest last hits, right? Because he has lower range. So I imagine just OD could deny more. I'm sure that made a big difference. It's going to rotate back to the mid lane.
Yeah, I think... Wait, I think they're actually going to get a kill on Vipe here. Pilsky might be able to... Oh, the Zeus ult actually snags that kill. And Techies is pretty low in the bottom lane. I don't think they can walk him down. Panda's trying to trade here with Raid. They still have the Vengeful Spirit illusion. I think Pilsky might be able to pick up a double kill. He's actually just...
He respawned too fast.
He's actually just getting chewed.
He really wants this kill.
He needs to be careful. I mean, Vipe is here. I think Pilsky's just completely overextended at that point. He got baited in.
He really did. Oh, he canceled his pig too. And he went to got him.
I don't think he would have gotten it.
If the stout procced. Man. Painful losses.
He got greedy on it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a good kill, but again, just so much base armor on the Dire team. Across the board, actually. Everyone's got armor. Maybe that's one good thing they've got going for them, is that TB's damage is going to be a bit mitigated. This Legion doing 26 and 13. Once again, nuking the TB.
Blasted.
Yeah, this is actually just a war of attrition harass thing here.
I can understand why he just left the lane for a little bit. I mean, honestly, I think at this point you just actually leave. He's almost level 5. You think at 5 he could actually just get more out of the jungle than sitting in this lane wasting all this gold on salves to get blasted back to 0 every like 30 seconds?
I suppose. I mean, he's still doing kind of okay. He does have decent base regen as a hero, but he's got double Wraith Band. It's not all wasted. He's not. I mean, if we check his net worth, that's probably the best tell. He's like 400 gold behind Avenge, so it's definitely mattering for sure.
Yeah, I think he's wasted probably 500 gold on salves already at 8 minutes. He was doing a pretty good job though in the lane. I wanted to point out that he was just using the illusions to go like just suicide to the mines. What does he give, like 8 gold at that level for each illusion? It's not much, and he just doesn't take that damage.
Yeah, it didn't seem too bad for sure.
But just now it's like a level 2 blast off. I think it's starting to hurt. He has such low health.
It's definitely scary. The fast level 6 on Lich could make a difference though. They could like get him 6, rotate him, go for a kill somewhere. I could see something like that being useful. But the fact that this is their only carry basically. I mean, what do they have? Beastmaster and like Zeus.
Yeah, no, I'm not super, like I said, I'm just not entirely sold on Filsky on the Beastmaster. Like, I have no doubts that he knows how to play the hero. I just see him do really well on those short cooldown blink stunners, big initiators, playmakers. And this seems just like a different play style, in my opinion, from what I think when I think of like a Filski offlane.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit, but
It's still like a big near. What are you?
oh,
What?
caught another kill. All right, I think I've caught 0 kills so far. Honestly, we're up to 5 now. It's
You
not
didn't
fair.
miss much. He was sitting in the jungle
Okay.
hitting a tomato at 14 health, I think.
Okay.
And OD just walked over and killed him with 1 hit, basically.
I mean, surely he walked by the Zeus to get there, right? Unless he went for like
I
bot
think
rune or
he
something.
just, yeah, he took like, I don't actually know why he was there. He kind of just walked this path and like ended up like in this camp, in the big camp.
Well, they're gonna dive top here.
Yeah, see, this is the rotation I was talking about. Skaters rotate. I mean, it's pretty late, but, you know, oh, wow. Just instantly drops the Sanity's Eclipse on that.
Walks away from an explosion like a cool guy.
Yeah, he's doesn't
Sick,
even have
man.
to look at it.
That was well executed, though. I mean, just dropped it right away, and then banishes the Nyx when the Spike Carapace comes out. That way he doesn't have to deal with the effects, because it'll be gone by the time that,
Yeah, they got 4
that
runes out of
procs.
that, too, because it just so happened it was a couple seconds before rune spawn, so perfect
Nice.
timing there for Skater to pick up the double bounties.
Wait,
and
this is
then
a kill.
Techies.
Okay, Bubba gets a solo kill here on the Techies. Definitely worth it. That
Oh,
was
did he
actually
just keep
pretty
that
smart.
Frost?
He did a Nova, or he did a Frost Blast, and he cast his Sinister Gaze. And the reason he did was to interrupt the blast off
Oh.
animation. Because if you don't interrupt it, even if the Chain Frost is midair, he could still, once he starts flying through the air, it'll still silence. So that was the safer move. I thought he just misclicked or something, but he did the smart thing there against the Techies. So
I just noticed something that's kind of funny. I was going to point out that these dire wards were interesting because they're both kind of just right next to each other, like in an overlay. And then I noticed they were kind of doing the exact same thing on the Radiant, where they have 2 wards really close to each other just to keep like good coverage of like a specific area that they want to play around.
I mean, it makes sense. It's a good place to dive. If you can win your
Yeah.
safe lane that hard, it makes a big difference. Because they've basically pressured and shut down. They haven't shut down TB, but they've definitely put a lot of effort into him. And doing the same to Beastmaster would feel like 2 heroes just off the map.
Yeah, and they can't both retreat to the jungle. Then you would just leave yourself completely vulnerable. They're going for near. I don't know how much backup Panda has here.
It's just a pressure thing.
Yeah.
This is really good to do, actually, as Ogre Magi. Just spend a little bit of mana to stroll into the jungle. Lower his health, force heroes to rotate, instead of doing what they want to. Like, the safe lane isn't even occupied right now by anybody. Nobody's there. Nobody's getting experience. They're just messing with them.
Yeah, I do like that because the one thing I hate, like, oh, they're still here on the Dire. They might actually be trying for a kill. They have a mine. Looks like Raid died in the top lane to the Vengeful Spirit.
I don't know how. Guess he
Actually,
swapped
I
or
didn't
something?
see it. I just saw he died.
I mean, he's like solo, unless somebody
Those
just
top
teleported.
E's.
He just like solo killed the Nyx in his lane. I don't know, man. I'm confused.
Well, what I was gonna piggyback off how you said that you liked that the Ogre was just pressuring. That's like one of my pet peeves is when there's a hero like the TB or Spectre, one of those like heroes that kind of puts you on a timer. Where it's like if we don't do something about it, it's just gonna get out of control. Is I hate it when you apply like really good pressure like they were, but then you just like ignore him for 10 minutes. You know, it's like okay, we shut down his laning phase, but that doesn't really matter because he just spent 10 minutes alone in the jungle and he has a Scotty now. Oh, wait, they get the duel, but now there's the Chain Frost. He might. Oh, the suicide. They still get the win though on the Legion Commander. I don't think they actually have enough damage for the kill here. He has another press the attack. Oh, Raid's gonna walk into a mine.
Oh my god. That was so close, man. That was a pretty ballsy duel, I must say. But it worked out.
He had the lightning bolt. Oh, he was TPing like 10 feet from him, and Zeus had lightning bolt. He didn't even try for like the blind, you know, just throw it out, see if they're teleporting cancel.
Yeah, maybe he should have gone for it. But it's easy to
I'll
say it
just
when we're
throw it
watching.
out. Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear my dog whining right now, but I'm sorry
No,
if you can.
I can't.
No, you can't. She's looking me dead in the eyes, just being like, "Pay attention to me, please, please."
Oh, this Nyx isn't even 6 yet. He gets a nice Carapace there. Now there's the rotation from Lich. Skater is in the area. Remster doesn't actually have
is
a lot of
weird.
mana to work with. This is kind of awkward here for both teams. Panda's the only one that's kind of out of position. But these are really tanky target, and I'm not sure if they actually do enough damage. They actually get the Sinister Gaze. Near has the meta, throws it out really early. I think they just get the kill on Panda. They
Okay.
also commit the Sanity's Eclipse there to get the Nyx Assassin. So those are two pretty big spells there used for some pretty low value targets, but they have this suicide here with Techies. They get Remster. I mean, that's worth it. That's their mid over here on the Radiant.
Very normal combo. The Astral into Techies suicide makes a lot of sense. It works out though.
Yeah, they gave Beastmaster a little bit of space in the top lane. He has his Vlads now.
There is actually so much running around and fighting happening. Like nobody is being passive on farming just because they know that like.
And look at Skater. He's actually in the top lane again, even though he was just in a fight. He just interrupted the roar. Vipe is here. He has the stun. They're probably gonna get the kill on Filski, and yeah, there's not even a response. There's no tower, so.
Like they just know that players might not have the wards, number one, and they're not necessarily going to react well, and they're not necessarily going to predict this. So it just makes more sense to run around, crushing people's farm ability while occasionally getting farm yourself. That's what it seems like so far.
Yeah, he rotated there for that mid kill, got the Nyx, and then immediately went top. So that's kind of just like what I'm used to seeing out of him. He's done it on OD and I think mid PA. These heroes that have either the dagger for the slow or he has the astral for the setup. So I feel like he definitely knows how to abuse the weaknesses of some RD2L players.
Net worth is looking pretty good for the Dire team right now. 9k. Venge is way on the top with 6 kills. I don't know how she has so much gold advantage.
They're gonna find another kill here on Zeus. Remster just throws the Thunder God's Wrath just because there's really no counterplay there from his team. So just puts it on cooldown, I guess.
It's the frustration ult, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would have held it. It might have been worth it. They might be able to get the kill on Vengeful Spirit. Finally, they don't have any more disables. Oh, there they go. Bubba with his Sinister Gaze at the last second.
Thank God for Tranquil Boots.
Big kill.
Yeah, that was a really big kill. If they lost, that one would have been really tough. But Venge started the TP at the perfect time, right after all the stuns had come out.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna make it. I didn't even notice that Bubba had already made it there with the Lich.
He was just running up last second. He just got there in time. It's very close. They used the Tome on Legion, get him level 11 now. He's finished his Blink Dagger.
He had it since 9. I'm not sure if he held it till 10 to use it.
Yeah.
25 XP gain.
Yeah, he just popped it now, so I assume that's what it was.
Yeah, he actually just got to press the attack, interrupted. Techies immediately dies. Fat Sloth getting low on mana and health, but I don't think they have any follow-up here from the Radiant.
And they get the top tower too, so not the best moment. I guess Techies only suicided, so they didn't lose that much, but looked a little iffy for Legion Commander. But with Blink Dagger, though, he can definitely start transitioning for kills. Looking like he's going... I'll press the attack over a moment of courage. Bit interesting. More attack speed, I guess. He's kind of heavy on attack speed right now.
Oh,
I missed another kill.
Wow, they lost Nier again. And they put a lot of their wins off the back of Nier. Nier God has had some incredible showings in RD2L matches, and it seems he's falling pretty short here. He's just kind of middle of the pack in net worth right now.
I don't even know where he found this kill. I know he's at the small camp, but I don't know why he found the hero there. Maybe it was just like he's just moving around predicting where he thinks the TB is going to be or something like that, but those are kills that probably shouldn't happen with the abundance that they have been so far.
And look at the vision they have. Oh, they're going to actually run into Filski. They get the Chain Frost. 32W is going to walk it away. He's going to get the Suicide. It actually gets interrupted by Raid. I think he died to the Carapace. That works, right? If he hits the Carapace while he's suicide?
I am unsure. I guess so. That's kind of what it looked like.
Actually exactly what happened. They have an Impale available, just short on Vipe. Skater is here. However, I think he's going to back up. They get the Blink Duel. They target Bubba. This is a good target. And now they get the swap on Remster. Skater still in the area. They find the kill on Remster. Raid going to try to walk away. They have the swap still available as the Vendetta walks into a mine. So they have a general idea of where he is. And there's another mine here on this cliff. Where's he going to go?
He's going to be okay.
He's got a feeling.
Yashikai is already now on OD, level 15 for him. He's really jumped up heavily in net worth because he's farming way faster than the Venge is. But on top of that is also still getting kills.
Yeah, I was going to point out that I thought it was really weird where the TB died because look at the Radiant. Like, they have a good... Oh, wait, is he dead again?
He just solo killed him with Techies, dude. Couple mines and a jump. He doesn't even have his ulti yet. He's just killing him with red mines. And blast off, dude. He did have a stasis trap. That was the main reason that he was able to get that kill, because the stasis trap blew up while he was within range of 2 proxy mines.
That is, wow. Yeah,
No.
this is what I said, that if there's any team that I feel like Bubba would just not know how to handle, it would be Skater's team, because I mean this Techies is actually doing work right now.
They don't have a swap ready, so...
Yeah, they're really close to this tier 2 tower as well. They go for the blink. They don't get the Carapace off. They do have the Chain Frost available. However, they're silenced by the Techies. They've already lost 2, though, so they should probably start leaving.
I mean, Techies just...
Filsky?
Techies just keeping the same mentality from the laning stage, which is like do as much damage as possible. Because he had 5 heroes with that blast off in that fight.
Oh, that was huge, yeah.
Poor little dog, whining.
still asking for attention.
Yes.
You hear
just,
Mom? She's over.
I'll give her the one hand scratch. With my other hand, I will move the camera, and you guys are just gonna have to accept that I have OD selected. Nothing else matters. Or I can like switch my hands.
A wooing right now. She never wants my attention until I'm busy doing something.
Yes, that's how it goes. Jealousy or something. This is gonna be a hard kill on the Lich. Very much so. But once
they actually get... Oh, Panda was there. He had the invis from a while ago, so...
He bought Midas. It's up.
Did he?
He did it.
He really? Oh, no.
You know what? Honestly, I don't even care. He's been owning. Seriously.
Yeah, they're really far ahead, too.
He's been all over on the map. He's been in the right place at the right time. He's been utilizing his hero in a good way. He's been pressuring Terrorblade. Buy a Midas, man. You deserve it. He's 5-3 and 5. You cannot complain about a man buying a Midas in this situation. There's no way.
Yeah, and I'm just surprised at... It feels like the Radiant are just getting out-moved around the map and, like, walking into all these traps. But, like, again, they have wards. It's not like they've had, like, a lack of vision where you're just kind of walking blind, like, to farm spots, like, on auto walk. They have information. They have, like, you know, all these wards, but they're
not all good, though.
Played.
I mean, they had one by their secret. They had one by their secret shop, but the one between their tier 2 mid and their tier 2 top, that one is like completely unnecessary right now. Like if you have your tier 2s still, I think this one is overkill. You could place this a little deeper by the shrine or something, and have a higher chance of that vision being valuable. Even the one by their bot tier 2 feels a little bit unnecessary.
Making a smoke here. This is a 5-man smoke here from the Dire. They do have the swap. They swap Remster, and they already have the Frost Shield. They have the Chain Frost. The duel comes out though, and they split. Oh, actually, they're not splitting that well. They take a few blasts, but I don't think it's enough for the Radiant to actually take this fight. Oh, they get the Sinister Gaze. They might be able to blow up the OG immediately. They get the kill. They get the kill on the Techies as well.
Man, he really wants to Sunder, but he still sounds for like 3 seconds.
Oh, what is Filsky doing? He still has the Roar. He gets the kill on Panda. Vipe, he gets Presty attacked, and now they're going to be able to get the kill on Vipe. And this is the first big mistake here from Skater's team.
That was interesting. OD, man, he was so ready. Yeah. I saw his staff in the air. He was about to blow up the whole team. He was feeling it, but a super quick Sinister Gaze. That was really well played by Lich.
That's not even the quick, like the last series I watched with Bubba playing Lich. There was his positioning, and I think he went for like an Aether Lens just so that when his team would get echoed, he would Sinister Gaze him before he'd even have time to fissure. Like no follow-up. It is like, again, 100% win rate on Lich. And I just like seeing him play the hero. He has some very good timing on the Sinister Gazes.
Well, he's queuing up a pipe. The game definitely got a lot more even from that team fight. But
was that 4K? 3K or something?
Not sure, but the net worth graph looks way less one-sided than it was previously. That's for
they
sure.
Were over around 11K ahead. Now they're only,
8. Yeah, that was pretty big. Pretty big fight.
Well, the win probability just went from around 80 to barely 55. So
I know the numbers.
I guess Dota Plus. I think Dota Plus thinks that they have a chance still.
Oh, I'm pressing a lot of buttons that are dangerous. I pressed F9. It didn't pause the game, thank God. I'm gonna stop pressing buttons. I'll just have to take your word for it on the win probability.
Yeah, it's around 60% in favor of the Naga fan club still, but it was around 80. So that single team fight gave them quite a bit. I mean, TB's almost caught up to the LC, who had a considerably better early game.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's definitely one of those heroes that needs like an item and a half or 2 items before he ends up being really scary.
What does he have right now? He's actually going for the BKB. I like this. Just Yasha right into BKB.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That way, once the fight starts, he doesn't have to worry about the silences. He can get a Sunder off. He can basically do the damage that he needs to do in a team fight. Doesn't have to ditch his team as much, because Manta's not going to give him the survivability.
At the Roche Pit, I think they're going to be able to get the kill on the Vengeful Spirit. Fatsloth is here, just second guessing that. He's going to have to walk away.
That was tanky, dude.
Roche off this?
I don't think so. They'd have to commit Metamorphosis. They've gotten 13 seconds. They don't have a medallion yet. There's
They're gonna
almost no
go
way.
for this kill. Skater has somebody astral, but I think they're just gonna let Filski walk away here.
Still whining. I can't believe you can't
I
hear
think I
that.
heard that one that
Okay,
time.
that one was abnormally loud.
Yeah, I was
For
like,
sure.
what was
Oh, yeah,
that?
that's my dog like looking me in the eyes with her sad eyes. Let's see how.
This Venge is going for an Axe. Do you think that's a viable
really?
position 1 item?
Oh.
What is that? Isn't that what gives you like your spirit and you can stun and all that?
Normally, yes, it would do the spirit, but she'll still have the spirit, but she'll also get the ability to use spells with her spirit.
Yeah, okay.
And it lowers her swap cooldown down to like 15 seconds, I think. So she's gonna be able to swap like constantly for the rest of the game. So it's basically if she dies, doesn't matter.
Like a BKB
In some ways,
Lich, Nyx.
I mean, she's got some magic resistance already from her talent, which is nice. I actually think something like a hood might be better, to be honest.
I don't feel like the Ags are just a good like second item after S and Y.
It's going to be beautiful with Techies mines. That part is going to be fun.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And that maybe if they really do want to go true chaos, that would be one way to play the game. But I'm not the biggest fan of Venge with BKB, I guess. I kind of like the Ags idea. I just would like her to get some magic resistance at some point, probably. Like, if you're against a Zeus, you have to buy a hood. In so many cases. You just
it's
have
a lot of damage.
It just deals with him so well. It's like he just gets super limited for the rest of the game as a result. And it's not like they're lacking on damage otherwise with the Lich and others. And nobody's buying magic resistance, actually, on the entire Dire team.
For a smoke here on the Radiant. I also like that Nier and Skater both have the exact same mentality. Like, Skater got his Yasha and Kaya, went right BKB. Nier went straight Yasha BKB. So there's actually BKBs on 2 cores already.
Which makes sense. There's just a lot of important spells that they have to deal with.
Instantly, yeah.
Or not be able to contribute to your team while you're silenced or whatever.
I think that the Dire are going to come up from behind here. Just up the middle lane.
Like
Raid is in his, I think, with Vendetta. No, he still has smoke.
One on the Venge. They're TPing in, though. Ooh, good BKB.
They dropped the hammer immediately. I think, did he BKB before that?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. Now Fatsoth also has a BKB. He's trying to man up on Nier, but this
can't do anything.
Around. Yeah, they got silenced there. Or the Techies wasn't able to actually do anything with the silence. I mean, they don't have Roar anymore, but I think they're going to get panned. Filski's probably going to live here, and they actually killed Skater with his fresh BKB. Fatsoth 10 second, also committed, so the fresh BKB showing heavily favoring the Dire there.
I mean, that team fight looked lost as soon as the OD popped his ulti, and TB's was already up. They've got 2 mines. They can kill the Beast. Oh, it's too late now. The TB popped BKB almost right away, pretty much. And as a result, he took no damage from the OD ulti. OD banished himself, which was a good play, without using BKB, because he needed to buy a couple seconds for his team to show up. He basically like tried to adjust by teleporting early, because Venge was a little bit in trouble, and then he had to react, but then his BKB, or his ulti was late. It was just kind of chaotic. He had to put himself in a bad position, and then their team just hadn't been cohesive with their initiation, and that's why things got hard.
Yeah,
TB
I saw
was
the
invulnerable.
Eclipse, but I didn't see Nier below like 85% health, so I just assumed that he had BKB'd preemptively.
Yep, he got it off as soon as I would say the OD definitely could have popped it earlier, because he TP'd into the trees and then he kind of walked out a little bit and then he cast it, so it was a little bit choreographed. But maybe he wanted to wait for more allies. Maybe he wanted to banish the Venge to buy a Venge a second or something. Changed his mind, and it was a little bit the wrong play.
Yeah, both BKBs popped, and both of the heroes. Wait, did the Venge die? I don't believe so.
I don't think so. I think she got out.
Just the OD died off his 10 second. They're making a rotation. I think this might just be for warding. Raid is in the area. It looks like mid is the call. He's okay. That was just some Spidey sense Thunder God's Wrath, but he's gonna get swapped up. Tries for the 4 staff. Doesn't matter. Gives up the duel on top of it, and now Nier has arrived. Throws a reflection, but I think
they got another swap.
Another swap here on Raid. They do have vision. Just gonna walk out of that sentry range.
Definitely a good pickup, though. You know, it's an important hero. They have crazy sentries all over the map to basically control this part, because once they do, they should be able to take Rosh themselves. But with that kill, they might as well just pressure the tower instead.
I think they got to this tower kind of slow, considering how long ago they actually killed that Zeus. He's gonna be up in 30 seconds. They'll probably hold this tier 3 here. I don't even know if they try and push it.
No, I don't think they need to. I mean, they've controlled this area of the map by the secret shop. Now they can just work on the top tier 2. And then once they do that, they just have utter map Rosh control compared to their opponents. So
Yeah, I think the Radiant missed their Roche timing because the Techies just had those mines in there, and once he popped them, I think they just kind of got spooked and were like, ah, all right, we're not going to do this one.
Yeah, that they did kind of leave a little bit early. They didn't get any kills.
Fine. It didn't kill anyone. They had the Vlads. They could have probably finished the Roche, I think.
They did get them low, but still. Nick Assassin thinking will come in from the back, but they actually do clean it up. Techies with the last hit, good for him. You know, one thing that the Dire team is lacking is Tower Siege is not the best. I mean, they do Avenge, I guess. That'll help a lot with the aura and the right-click damage, but they don't have the best Tower Siegers. So they're trying to solve that with a what's it called? Solar Crest. There we go.
Yeah, there's another smoke here. Near's the one to break, though, so a hero with no actual disable is going to be the first one in. Raid walking up. He's going to be walking into a red mine, however. They're going to know he's here. Oh, there was a canceled TP immediately on that shrine. Who was that? Oh, Legion Commander. Legion Commander has no TP. I don't think the Radiant noticed. They could have forced that fight.
Alright, they'll be fine, though. And Techies is actually making
this is a lot
a
of
monster
mines.
zone.
Oh, Raid. Raid is so low. He gets dusted. He's going for the suicide play. He's just going to walk into another mine. Oh, poor guy.
Yo, he's ready. He's doing some dirty stuff on this map, but man, he knows how to deal with the Nyx. Like, now that they've killed both of those towers, if they just control this ancient area, not only does it help with Roche, but it's like a huge farming point. Where's TB supposed to farm now? Like 1 or 2 observer wards on the other side of the map, and they just have utter control of most of the map here. And then it just limits what TB can do. Yeah, that's all you can do. Send illusions to push. Interesting banish.
Yeah, they don't do Roche particularly fast, but it doesn't matter because they just have all this time. Like if I was taking this long on Roche, I'd be a little bit worried, but they actually are just fine. They know that the Radiant can't even come in this area.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a really good job with all the mines set up. It's very chaotic. There's stasis traps every bit of space, or actually stasis traps everywhere. And that's the worst thing when you're trying to approach Roshan. Plus, we've seen KBT smoke so many times in this game. I bet they're even low or almost out entirely. Makes it really hard to do anything.
3 or so in the past, like 7 minutes. They might be out. I might have one on a hero. Let me check. Yeah, they don't have any. I think Bubba would be carrying it if they had any left. And Fatsloth has finished a Shadow Blade. That's a new item there on the Legion, so even more pick-off potential.
I like it. Just another way to look for people to grab. A lot safer than Blink Dagger in a lot of cases. I mean, there's still going to be a lot of detection considering that they're against the Techies, but it's a natural progression anyways in most cases.
Yeah, he already had the BKB, so...
Yeah, he can basically buy whatever he wants at this point. His items have been good.
There's a DD there available. They keep giving the DD to the OD, though, which don't you just usually give it to the Vengeful in this situation? Or does OD benefit more from this double damage?
OD probably benefit. He does benefit about the same. I mean, they both are buying heavily in their primary attributes, so it's not a big deal. It's the greedy one. He was closer. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't
he hasn't
matter
leveled his 20 talent, I don't believe. I wonder if he's deciding.
I mean, strength is really good this game because there's a ton of burst damage on the enemy team, so you could definitely make a case for strength being solid.
I mean, when he got Sinister Gazed for about 2 seconds, he died immediately, so...
Yeah, if you're dealing with Zeus and all these other heroes, it's a dangerous thing. TB's doing a good job still pushing, though, just constantly pushing with illusions, hiding in trees. That way it's hard for his opponents to spot him. It forces them to TP back.
Yeah, they basically just TP'd back to defend the tier 3s because he just took the tier 2 entirely free while they were just kind of dicking around in the mid lane.
It's still got to feel so bad, though, because you know that every like 30 seconds, Techies is putting down another stack of mines and just making the map more out of control. I love that he's putting all his mines on his enemy side of the map. This is the right thing to do in this situation. See if they're going to run into there.
Oh,
we got a BKB.
Oh, Raid. He actually been deaded before she got the duel off, and now they roar the BKB. However, they don't have that much damage. It did have the Necro 3s doing quite a bit of damage. The BKB's worn off now, and Filsky blinks forward, keeping vision. I'm not sure if he's microed that range Necro yet. No, he hasn't used the Purge yet.
Oh, Ogre looks caught.
Yeah, they're a little bit spread.
Okay, only losing an Ogre.
The kill they wanted, yeah. They definitely would have been better off picking off Fatsloth in that situation.
So another smoke and a whole lot of nothing in benefits. So and
A lot of spells used too. I think the only thing is Nier didn't use his BKB, while LC's BKB was forced, if that's any consolation prize.
Yeah, it's not all bad. Zeus almost has his Axe. In fact, I think he does have it finished just about. 50 more gold for him. So everyone's getting their big items finished. And they did clear out a ton of mines just now with this movement, so something to do. Yeah, it's not going to be bad at all. Very, very helpful for the moment. So every bit of map control they get means that they can farm more creeps. Now they know they can move around by their shrine and not have to worry about enemy wards or mines. So that'll be nice. If they have more downtime, they can deal with that.
The only thing I'm a little worried about is even though the heroes on the Radiant are kind of getting their items, they are still slowly falling behind in net worth. And I think that's just from the total map control that the Dire had there with all those mines, just zoning them out of all their farm spots.
Yeah, they haven't even farmed their side of the map. They've just been taking the enemy group.
Yeah, they're just completely choked out.
Lightning Bolt mini stun. Pretty good this game, especially against something like Techies. Potentially prevent him from suiciding.
There's also a Hex on this OD now.
Okay, so he went Hex instead of...
Just finished it, yeah.
So no mobility. Very typical for ODs to go like 4-staff Blink Dagger kind of stuff, but Yashakaya has definitely been more common lately for very good reasons, but straight into Hex. But I guess this kind of makes sense, right? Like if you already have stupid map control, having extra mobility really doesn't help you that much. All it's gonna, like you can farm faster slightly by jumping between camps, but outside of that, just having a Hex is better, because then if you actually do end up finding a hero, the disable is going to be way more important.
Yeah, I do think once he gets the blink, though, it does make the Hex a lot better, just for that kind of instant follow-up or instant initiation, if, you know, because he does have the BKB this time. Although you still got to be careful from that War. Filski's been doing a pretty good job of holding it for BKB targets.
But I think it's okay to get the fast Hex in this case. Normally, if the game was close at all, I think a blink would have been far better, but they're in such a dominating position that he's going to get way more gold and acceleration out of the Hex. It's probably better for team fights generally anyways. Plus, it's also going to be a Zeus ulti during the team fight, right? And that's going to... If they don't start the team fight themselves, he's not going to pre-BKB for that. He's not going to want to, so he would lose his ability to use blink anyways. So I think it was fine to do the small little tangent, and now he's back with it anyway, so he's fine.
Yeah, he farmed that very quick. I looked at him just a minute ago. He had about 1,000 gold, and now the blink's finished. So it's just total. He just ran through the entire jungle completely, no fear, you know, of being in the enemy jungle. He just farmed full rotation.
They're definitely doing the right thing now. They're basically realizing what the game state's at, that they're farming way more than their opponents. That their opponents aren't going to be able to leave the map very easily due to the Techies being here. So they're just spreading Legion out, one person in the far back clearing their jungle, and their other cores will just section off the map. So we're going to see like a ridiculous climb here in terms of net worth.
Although it is worth noting that most of the net worth difference here, I think, is because of the supports. Because if you look at the cores, it's not that bad.
That's true.
It's basically just the fact that Lich and Nyx are so much more poor than that Midas Ogre you were talking about, who's got a Solar Crest looking like Crimson Guard.
And Techies.
And the Techies is super rich.
Which is typical for Techies, right? You just sit in one lane, put mines, you push it out yourself. You basically guarantee that lane's pushed, and then your cores can do whatever they want on the rest of the map. So. And
then the remote mines one-shot waves with the Ags, right? So.
Yep.
Even super efficient farming. But yeah, in terms of core-on-core matchup, it's not too bad. But I think the supports are what's really making the difference here in terms of this big net worth gap.
Well, they're smoking out. They lost their creeps here. Too bad for them.
They might find Vipe. That would be a pretty good kill. I think, is that a sentry? No, it's just a remote mine.
It looked a lot like he had detection there, but he didn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought, the way that he moved. They're going to see it. They get the roar immediately on Vipe. Fatsloth is here, but he can't blink because of the Zeus ult. They get the haste on Skater. They drop the Nimbus there just for zoning. Lichel jumping around. They get a duel. They're going to actually get the duel kill before he goes down. Skater's going to get hit by that last blast. It doesn't look like they're going to do much. They're just helping this Venge illusion around, and now here comes 32Ws with a big silence, and the sanity clips on top. They're probably going to turn this. The boar is going to deny Skater his rampage. That feels bad.
That's really well organized. Like they're always comboing the Techies with the other heroes. They know that just using Sanity's Eclipse alone isn't going to be enough damage, but with comboing them together, they're able to burst down the Terrorblade right before it gets the Sunder off. And he obviously popped BKB at the start of the fight, and the fight looked pretty good for the Radiant team. But finally, the Sanities and the Techies comes through, and that cleans up all the important heroes.
Yeah, that was I was watching him just kind of he was doing the little techies wiggle, you know.
Yeah,
I was like,
Squady.
oh, this is gonna hit 5 people, and they just dropped the synergies eclipse immediately.
Yo, his movement speed is insane right now.
What is
How
he
does
at?
nobody do this?
513?
Dude, he get the 50 movement speed talent. I've never seen somebody get this. Slax always goes GPM. But
Slax is greedy.
he's actually ridiculously fast. He's like, he also doesn't auto farm very well sometimes, but he's like 513 movement speed with just BOTs and Yules. It's incredible. He's running around like hasted. He can like drop mines under towers.
And the bloodlust. Look at that 550. That's crazy.
Yeah, this may be the way.
You gotta let Slacks know. He's been playing it wrong the whole time.
I mean, he's definitely way better at techies than I'm ever going to be, probably, because he's very good at mine stuff. But yeah, there's always improvements everybody can make to their game, right?
It takes a certain type of player to play techies. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I
evil.
think I tried griefing with the hero one time.
What do you mean griefing? Do you mean actually griefing or just
actually
playing?
griefing? Like, as in, I don't know how to play this hero, but I'm gonna pick it because I felt like it.
I see.
And I couldn't even do that. I just actually tried and won the game because I couldn't even deal with like griefing on the hero.
Sounds like you have strong opinions about techies to me.
I do not like this hero. You just,
Okay.
I think it's more because of old techies. The new techie seems a lot more dynamic, I guess,
Yeah.
compared to what he used to be. So it doesn't even seem that bad anymore. But I'm still have some trauma from old techies.
Really? Oh, I always felt like, I mean, the red mine stacks were definitely annoying. The fact that he could make like two separate explosion things was really annoying. And oh yeah, and like the suicide plus mine thing was super broken. Like with blink, just like blink suicide mine and like one shot people. I think that was definitely busted.
Did you drop the mine that quickly?
Yeah, you could basically blink suicide, blink drop the mine and suicide the ground, and yeah, you would kill people because it would blow up right away. That was really busted. I'm glad they changed that part.
There was a patch where techies was legitimately being picked all the time, wasn't it?
I don't know about being picked all the time, but
well, more often than he should be for pubs.
For pubs, I don't know. Possibly. There was definitely a part, like it was, you know, it was around TI5 where he was like competitively potentially viable. I think it was about after that they changed the red mines again, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the way they balanced it is nice. You don't need sentries for every single component of the mine. That's important, because otherwise, like if you did lose your gem, you would have no chance basically, because you couldn't deal with the red mine stacks and you couldn't deal with the green mine stacks. But now it's just the green mine stacks that are the major issue, right? You can play around the other stuff without detection. So I think that was one of the really good fixes they had for the hero. And I think the hero's not too bad. Like this guy's really good at techies. It would not be fun to play against him, but
yeah,
you can definitely deal with him.
It. I'm not sure if I think I mentioned the techies. I know I said the Purge, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I think I brought up the techies too. Yeah, this is a hero. I know that they've practiced. I'm pretty sure they've even picked it, and I'm actually surprised that they would rather play against the techies than like a CK or something. Oh, I heard a BKB popped. Oh, they dropped the Sanity's Eclipse immediately. They don't get the kill on Terrorblade just yet. He doesn't. Oh, he can't sunder the BKB. They also lost Filski here. Vipe and Panda find the kill on the Beastmaster at the same time. They get the silence here on Remster. However, it looks like it's going. Yep, he is dead. Now they get the swap back on the Nyx Assassin, and
damn, dude,
that's just a big chain feed now. Vipe, they're looking for more. Bubba may not be safe. They get the stun. Vipe is really far out of position. This is a quad buyback now. Panda gonna start tanking the tower. Has the Crimson popped. Filski gonna blink forward with the roar, immediately dispelled by Fat Sloth, and now they may just maybe sacrifice Panda, if even that.
Not uncommon.
Wow.
He's really hard to kill actually with his Crimson Guard. He's got 300 health, the 40 strength talent. Guy's regenning 25 per second. So the whole fight started, it was like TB was just BKB near the OD and attacking the OD. OD just like walked away, but the TB kind of followed him, and once his BKB ran out, then OD popped his BKB and just turned around and threw everything down. So it's kind of like, it looked like a moment of frustration from Akor where he's like, I've been in my base for like 15 minutes. Here's a guy, I'm going to go run at him, and it produced a really bad outcome, obviously. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
That's quad buybacks. Now they're 40,000 gold ahead.
That's a big advantage.
It's kind of like they're just waiting to end. Like they could just go Roche right now, I feel, and end the game at any moment.
Yes. The fact that they're not Roshing is definitely a little ridiculous as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I can't even imagine them contesting it right now. They have no... I feel like they'd be too scared. They'd rather, you know, try their hand at a high ground defense and go contest a Roche.
Okay, well, they do start the Roche. They're going to walk out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back in a second. That way, at least their opponents think they might not be there. But
I just... They have a smoke.
Yeah, I don't really think they're likely to be able to contest. They do send a Hawk here, so they will know for sure. Roche helping out with that little kill. One cheese and one Aegis for them. Got all the items they want.
I don't really see how they lose the game right now, honestly. OD's swapped out his boots for the Lincoln Sphere now, so he's got the BKB and the Lincolns. It's going to be very hard to actually lock this OD down.
It's going to be hard to do anything against any of these guys, to be honest.
I mean, look at the Venge's health, too. He went for the Reaver now, looking into the Satanic, so he's sitting at 36 armor with nearly 3,200.
Yeah,
HP.
he's going.
You can just freely swap.
He's going for the status resistance build, basically. That way he can... Yeah. I mean, his damage isn't ridiculous, but Satanic will still pay off. But if he does end up getting chain stunned, it's going to last a lot less long, and he should be able to get out of danger faster. So I think it's a good choice. It'll make him the guy that can hit towers as well. I mean, that's really the one thing that they're missing. Other than... I mean, Techies is transitioning now, by the way. The Yashikaya into Moonshard.
Moonshard, wow, he's got the 25. He's... Yeah, that's...
Which I think is an okay idea, because again, they do have some damage issues. He's also max movement speed, by the way.
He's taking bottom tower, actually,
by
himself. He just
they're messing with
most of this tower's health. That's actually crazy. Yeah, you were saying that, oh, he can transition. I was like, oh, there's no way this game will let him get to 25, and here he is.
I mean, I said that with a Drow Ranger. This is definitely weirder, but
it's still working.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, Yashakai is a good way to do it. The max movement speed at all times part is definitely kind of funny as a way to do this. He's gonna buy another Moonshard now. They're definitely toying with their opponents. Is this common, or is it just because it's like a big match?
I wouldn't say it's common. I feel like they're somewhat toying, but at the same... Okay, he might actually just die for that. So.
Oh, what happened? I didn't see how he got to that moment.
He got stunned by the Nyx Assassin, and then they just dropped the Nimbus. Zeus was there with the follow-up Lightning Bolt.
Oh, I see.
Burn. They just kind of...
It was a Vendetta thing.
Yeah, he didn't even get to move. He just got blown 100 to 0.
One of those fun times.
Looking for a blink. They have all these sentries too. This Hawk's not going to last.
I also kind of feel like this is one of those moments where a gem is actually decent on the Dire team. They probably should have bought it earlier, maybe. But like all of the sentry progression that they're making on the raiding team, they will eventually get a little bit of space with it, and with that, it takes some of the map control back. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe they just need to go fucking hit towers.
Yeah, I can't tell if they're intentionally toying with them or if it's more of like I mean, they have to know how far ahead you are, right? Like,
I don't think they're going to necessarily know they're 46k ahead, and they're definitely looking at the heroes that the enemy team has and know that they have to be a little careful. Like, I don't blame them for waiting for Techies. That's totally fine. They were finally able to kill a tower bottom at 47 minutes in with their 47k gold advantage, and
maybe they're
shrines.
Just nervous.
I mean, it definitely happens sometimes where teams just don't want to lose, so they will not realize quite how far ahead they are, how easy it is to win. It's definitely easier just to sit and continue farming, but to be honest, they've got Aegis, they've got Cheese. Pretty much every hero on their team is 6 slotted at this point, so there isn't much left to look out for, basically.
It doesn't feel like there's a lot of Dota left for the Dire. They just have to hit the towers. Like, I feel like you could just like use this OD as bait. I mean, you have the Aegis on him, he has a Lincolns, he has a BKB. Even if he blinks in to hex someone, it's not like they can even control him immediately. You're probably just going to bait out a bunch of spells and then win the fight after.
Yeah, that would be the expectation, but who knows? They may never actually kill another tower. That could have been the last tower they ever killed this game.
I like, this is one of those games that, like, I look at it and I'm like, this can't possibly be throwable. But I feel like I've lost games like this because of situations like this where I just don't realize, like, we could have ended so long ago, and then you just wait, and then there's still a Terrorblade, even though it's Terrorblade. Oh, well, actually, he's sitting on 9,000 gold.
Yeah, their courier died last time I tried to go to Secret Shop, so I assume he's been trying to buy a Scotty this whole time, I'm sure. Definitely a big item. Especially when your opponents have gold advantage, because they're going to have BKBs and stuff, so if you can have Scotty, at least you have some disable solution against them. That part can be nice. They bought a Halberd on the Venge, so now that she can attack uphill.
Look at where the Radiant Pro is. They have to send it to...
Oh, it's one of these. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one.
They have to move it all the way across the map just to try and make sure that this crow doesn't die again. Is he?
It's
He just has the Scotty on it, right?
yep. It's a good plan. They're going high ground though. Never mind. Nyx is just instantly dead. That was a blink hex.
And they get another swap here on Remster. Remster has the refresher, and now Filski gets the roar on the Vengeful Spirit. They should have the damage here to bring Vipe, but Vipe has the Satanic. He's actually just surviving through this, and Filski's already popped his BKB. They get the duel, but
the Sunder
there defensively from near, keeping his Zeus alive, and now Fatsloth will die. They did. Oh, the blink Sanity's Eclipse from Skater. There's no buyback on near. This is probably game.
It is maybe a little long overdue. Oh, he wants to kill. There's the VKV though.
Oh, Remster. Yeah, this was. I feel like this game was pretty much done 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. They were just waiting to end.
Yeah, this was a little delayed, but they still executed really well, and I do like their itemization. I think the eggs on Venge worked out in a lot of ways too, because it's like once the fight starts, it just means pretty much no matter what, you're gonna have swap off cooldown, so you can always go for another kill and another kill. And if you keep snowballing those, catch some buyback heroes and stuff like that, then that's when the game is truly over.
Yeah, I was a little worried about it because I thought he would get it, and then they'd have like a fight where he like needed the BKB, like his OD and his Legion already had it. But he like got his Ags, and then he also finished Pike and basically Satanic before he even needed to use.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an elongated game. It didn't need to be that long, but I don't blame you. When you want to win your matches, then you will play it safe until you have everything that you could ever want in a game, and they got that this game. So that is going to be the first win. Naga Fan Club will take the victory. They got to win a second one though, so we'll see what happens in the next game.
Yeah, I think this is the only time I've seen Bubba lose game one. No, the second time. This is the second time. The other time they lost against, I think, Ultra Gunner's team, and then they won the next two. So
okay.
I've, just from past games, they've definitely been able to shake it off, and come back, make adjustments. But I mean, that has to rattle you, right? You lost to a Techies draft.
Maybe something you may want to consider respect banning, because even though they had Zeus as a sort of Techies solution, it didn't end up being the most valuable thing. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna take a quick break,
Sure.
and play with my dog so she stops whining.
Right.
But I'll be back in about probably 4 minutes.
All right, sure.